Your life is built on a single foundation: the words you speak to yourself. Not what others say, not what happens around you, but the conversation running in your mind, day after day. Think about it. How often do you catch yourself saying, "I can't do this, I'm not good enough," or "things never work out for me"? These aren't just random thoughts, they are commands shaping your reality. Every word you speak within is a seed, and your life, it's the harvest of those seeds. For 3 days, just 3, you will change the way you speak to yourself, and in doing so, you will witness something extraordinary. Your mind will shift, your emotions will recalibrate, your reality will start bending in ways you never expected. This is not wishful thinking. It's backed by Stoic philosophy, neuroscience, and the fundamental laws of consciousness. The greatest thinkers, from Marcus Aurelius to modern-day leaders, have mastered this. Now it's your turn. So here's the challenge. For the next 3 days, you will speak to yourself differently. You will rewire your mind, override the old programming, and shift your reality. If you could reprogram your subconscious in just 3 days, would you do it? Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a precise, step-by-step method to transform your inner dialogue, and with it, your entire life. Comment below, what's one limiting belief you've caught yourself repeating? Let's rewrite it together. Now let's begin. 1. The inner word is the true creative force. You wake up, the world is still the same job, the same problems, the same doubts running through your mind. And then it starts, the inner voice. Another day, another struggle. I'm not good enough, nothing ever changes. You don't even notice it anymore. It's background noise, playing on repeat. But what if I told you that this voice is the architect of your reality? Your mind is a battlefield. The war isn't against the world. It's against the words you tell yourself every day. Stoics understood this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He knew the truth. External chaos is irrelevant if your inner world is disciplined. Most people don't control their thoughts. Their thoughts control them. They wake up, and before they even step out of bed, their subconscious has already dictated how their day will unfold. Not because of fate, not because of luck, but because of the words they entertain within. If you constantly tell yourself you are struggling, you will act like someone who struggles. If you remind yourself you are weak, you will hesitate at every challenge. But what happens if you change that voice? What if, instead of reinforcing doubt, you began speaking from strength? Not hoping, not wishing, but speaking as if the reality you desire is already yours. The truth is, your words aren't just thoughts, they are commands. Every phrase, every internal conversation is carving out the structure of your life. The mind doesn't differentiate between real and imagined. It simply follows the blueprint it's given. If your blueprint is full of limitation, fear, and scarcity, that's exactly what you will build. But if your blueprint is one of certainty, power, and abundance, your actions, emotions, and circumstances will start bending to match it. The Stoics mastered this. They didn't waste energy lamenting over things outside their control. They focused entirely on what was theirs to govern, their inner world. You don't control the economy, but you control how you respond to financial challenges. You don't control other people, but you control your emotions when dealing with them. You don't control unexpected tragedies, but you control the narrative you attach to them. Look at a man who has trained his mind, and you will see someone unshaken by external turmoil. A recession comes, he sees it as a challenge, not a death sentence. A betrayal happens, he doesn't let it consume him. He adjusts, learns, and moves forward. This is not positivity. This is inner mastery. So why do most people remain trapped? Because they never stop to challenge their thoughts. They don't realize that most of their suffering is self-inflicted, not from reality itself, but from the meaning they attach to it. A man loses his job. One tells himself, "This is a disaster. I am worthless." Another tells himself, "This is an opportunity to reinvent myself." The event is the same. The outcome is not. And here's the paradox. Most people defend their negative inner dialogue as if their life depends on it. They argue for their limitations. They justify why they can't change, why things will always be the way they are. But the more they reinforce those beliefs, the deeper the programming runs. They are prisoners in a cage built from their own words. The Stoics had a solution. Train your mind like you would train your body. Just as a weak body can be strengthened through discipline, a weak mind can be sharpened through control over inner dialogue. It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the words you repeat in your head. Would you speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself? If not, why tolerate it? Then comes correction. Every time an old, limiting thought arises, interrupt it. Refuse to let it go unchecked. If your mind says, "I can't do this," immediately replace it with, "I handle challenges with strength and clarity." If it whispers, "I always fail," counter it with, "I learn and adapt faster than anyone else." It won't feel natural at first. That's the point. You are rewiring years of mental conditioning. This is not a game of hoping. It is a battle of conscious decision. And here's the reality. Your subconscious is always listening. It absorbs every repeated thought, every emotion tied to it, and eventually it starts acting on autopilot. That's why most people feel stuck. They aren't even choosing their reactions anymore. Their mind is simply running the old script. But that script can be rewritten. In 3 days, you can start that process. Not by thinking about it, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by speaking differently, right now. Every word is a step. Every sentence is a command. Your subconscious is waiting for orders. What will you tell it? 2. Speak from the state of the wish fulfilled. Most people make the same mistake. They speak about their desires as if they are distant, as if they exist somewhere far in the future, always just out of reach. I hope one day I'll be successful. I wish I could be financially free. I want to be more confident. Every time you speak like this, you reinforce separation. You tell your mind, "This is not who I am yet," and your subconscious listens. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of wanting instead of having. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not external. It exists only in your words and thoughts. Stoicism teaches one fundamental truth. You control your internal state, not external events. You do not wait for confidence to come to you. You embody it now. You do not hope for discipline to appear. You act as a disciplined person today. Your mind doesn't care whether what you say is true or not. It only follows instructions. If you tell it, "I am wealthy, I am strong, I am at peace," it begins aligning your actions and emotions with those words. If you tell it, "I hope I can be successful," it confirms that you are not and keeps you there. This is why the great minds of history, from Stoic emperors to modern-day leaders, have always emphasized the power of identity. Who you believe you are determines what you do, and what you do determines what you become. There was a man who lived this truth without even realizing it. His name was Daniel. For years, he struggled with self-doubt. He was good at his job, but never saw himself as a leader. He would sit in meetings full of ideas, but always hesitated to speak up. In his mind, leaders were those who had natural confidence. He told himself, "One day, I'll be ready." But that day never came. Then something happened. His company faced a crisis. A major client was about to pull out, and the team was paralyzed with indecision. As everyone sat in silence, Daniel felt the familiar fear creeping in. This isn't my role. I'm not the one to step up. But at that moment, another thought emerged, one he had never considered before. What if I stopped waiting? What if I spoke now, as if I already were the leader I wished to be? He did. He laid out a strategy with complete conviction, as if he had always been the one making decisions. And something strange happened. People listened, the team followed his plan, the client stayed. It wasn't magic, it wasn't luck, it was identity. The moment he stopped seeing leadership as something outside himself and spoke as if it was already his reality, he became it. From that day forward, Daniel never waited again. He didn't try to be confident. He was confident. Not because of external validation, but because he spoke and acted from the state of already being the person he wanted to become. Your mind is doing something right now. It's deciding whether to dismiss this as another concept or to take it seriously. Because here's the truth. You are always reinforcing an identity. The question is, are you reinforcing one that serves you or one that limits you? The Stoics knew this. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." Not the other way around. Most people wait. They think, once I succeed, then I'll see myself as successful. Once I'm strong, then I'll believe I'm strong. But that's backward. You must claim it first. You must speak as if it already is. You must move as if it is already done. Because your subconscious will fight you. It will tell you that's not true. And this is where most people give up. They think, I don't feel rich, so I can't say it. I don't feel confident, so I can't act like it. But that's the mistake. You don't do this because it's true now. You do this because it's the only way to make it true. The moment you stop reinforcing lack, the moment you stop waiting, everything shifts. This isn't about delusion, it's about alignment. If you want wealth, you must think, speak, and act from that place now. If you want discipline, you must embody it today. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. 3. Structure your inner conversation for 3 days. Everything you say to yourself is shaping your life. Not sometimes, not only when you're aware of it, but every second of every day. Your subconscious is always listening. The question is, what are you feeding it? For years, you've trained your mind without realizing it. Every complaint, every doubt, every excuse has reinforced a state of limitation. Now it's time to undo that conditioning. 3 days. That's all it takes to begin rewiring your subconscious. Not through wishful thinking, not through blind optimism, but through deliberate inner dialogue. You don't need months of effort. You need consistency. For 72 hours, you will take control of the words inside your head and refuse to let them sabotage you. This is not about saying positive things for the sake of it. It's about creating a new internal reality, one that will soon be reflected externally. From the moment you wake up, your first thought will set the tone for the entire day. Most people open their eyes and immediately let the world dictate their mood. They check their phone, react to messages, and start their morning on autopilot. But for the next 3 days, this will change. Before you move, before external noise takes over, you will command your mind. If you want discipline, you will tell yourself, I move with purpose. I do what must be done. If you want confidence, you will affirm, I walk with certainty. I trust my instincts. If you seek success, you will repeat, opportunities are drawn to me. I execute with precision. These are not hopes. These are commands. Your subconscious doesn't respond to hesitation. It responds to certainty. Throughout the day, every word you say to yourself must be deliberate. Old thought patterns will try to creep in. Doubts will whisper. Fear will test you. But for 72 hours, you will allow no mental weakness to take root. Every time a limiting thought appears, you will replace it instantly. If your mind says, this is too hard, you will counter with, I am built for challenges. If it tells you, I always fail, you will say, I adapt and overcome faster than anyone else. There is no room for negotiation, no room for justification. Every word must align with the identity you are building. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about controlling perception. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that events themselves have no power. Only our interpretation of them does. If you judge a situation as overwhelming, you will shrink before it. If you see it as an opportunity, you will rise to meet it. You do not control circumstances. You control the narrative you attach to them. And that narrative is shaped by your inner dialogue. Every great leader, every high performer, every person who has ever transformed their life has mastered this. They do not allow their mind to spiral into negativity. They do not mentally rehearse failure. They do not entertain words that weaken them. For 3 days, you will do the same. No more complaining. No more mentally indulging in excuses. If a thought does not serve your goals, it does not belong in your mind. Before you sleep, your final thoughts will shape your subconscious. Most people sabotage themselves at night. They replay mistakes, they dwell on regrets, they let uncertainty fester. But for the next 3 nights, you will do the opposite. You will reinforce the reality you are creating. You will speak to yourself as if you have already achieved everything you desire. If you are building wealth, you will affirm, I am financially free. Money flows to me effortlessly. If you are building mental strength, you will repeat, I am unshakable. Nothing moves me. If you seek peace, you will tell yourself, I am calm. My mind is a fortress. These are not just affirmations, they are instructions to your subconscious, which will execute them without question. The Stoics practiced nightly reflection, not to dwell on failures, but to refine their thinking. Marcus Aurelius would ask himself what he did well, where he faltered, and how he could improve. This was not self-criticism. It was self-mastery. You will do the same. You will review your inner dialogue. Were your thoughts aligned with your highest self? Did you speak from strength, or did weakness creep in? The goal is not perfection. The goal is control. 3 days, not 3 weeks, not 3 years. In 72 hours, you will plant the seeds of a new identity. The problem is not that change is slow. The problem is that most people never begin. They wait for motivation, for signs, for external confirmation. But the mind does not work like that. You must assume the identity first. You must speak as if it is already true, and the world will follow. For the next 3 days, every word you say to yourself will be intentional. No more passive thinking, no more excuses. You speak from power. You walk as if you already are who you want to be. And then, watch what happens. 4. The feeling is the key. Words alone are empty. You can say, "I am strong," 1,000 times, but if deep down you feel weak, your subconscious will follow the feeling, not the words. This is where most people fail. They repeat affirmations, they visualize success, yet nothing changes, because they're missing the real ingredient, emotion. Your subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't care about long explanations or detailed plans. It obeys feeling. This is why fear can override reason. Why a moment of intense anger can make you act against your better judgment. Why someone with no special talent but unshakable confidence often succeeds where others hesitate. For 3 days, you are not just changing your words, you are changing your emotional state. Every phrase must be backed by conviction. When you say "I am unshakable," your body must feel it. When you say "I am abundant," your mind must accept it as real. If you say "I am at peace," but your heart races with anxiety, you are lying to yourself, and your subconscious knows it. This is not about pretending. This is about alignment. You must train your body and mind to work together. If you want confidence, you must stand like a confident person. Speak like one. Move like one. If you desire wealth, you must stop acting as if you are struggling. If you seek strength, you must carry yourself as if no obstacle can break you. The external world mirrors your internal world, and your internal world is ruled by feeling. The Stoics understood this long before science confirmed it. They knew that emotions are not random, they are habits. Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by our interpretation of them. You do not feel anxious because of what is happening, you feel anxious because of the meaning you assign to it. Change the meaning, and you change the emotion. Change the emotion, and you change the action. Most people let emotions control them. They wake up feeling tired and assume they must move slowly. They feel discouraged and assume they must wait for motivation. But the Stoic knows better. Emotions follow action. If you want to feel powerful, act powerfully. If you want to feel calm, breathe deeply and stand tall. If you want to feel abundant, stop reacting to scarcity. You do not wait to feel different. You move first, and the feeling will catch up. Right now, if you stood up straight, lifted your chin, and took a deep breath, your physiology would shift. Your mind would follow. This is why great athletes and performers have rituals before stepping onto the stage. They don't wait to feel ready. They create readiness. They generate certainty before certainty has proof. For the next 3 days, you will do the same. When you speak, your voice will be firm. When you affirm success, you will feel it in your bones. If a doubt arises, you will reject it, not with empty words, but with an internal certainty so strong that your subconscious has no choice but to obey. At night before you sleep, you will practice one of the most powerful techniques known to man, mental rehearsal. You will relive the version of yourself that already exists in your ideal future, not as a dream, not as a wish, but as if it is happening now. You will feel the excitement, the confidence, the peace. You will let that feeling sink into your body, because when you sleep in a state of certainty, your subconscious begins to restructure itself. Most people drift into sleep, reviewing their failures. They relive arguments, stress over problems, worry about what might go wrong. Then they wonder why they wake up anxious. But you will be different. You will end your day in alignment with the reality you are creating. You will fall asleep knowing that your words, your feelings, and your actions are all moving in the same direction. 3 days. That's all it takes to feel the shift. Not because the world changes in 3 days, but because you do. And when you do, the world has no choice but to respond. 5. Inner conversations create inner states, and inner states create your world. Your mind is a tuning fork. It vibrates at the frequency of your dominant thoughts. Every inner conversation, every silent whisper of doubt or confidence determines the world you experience. Like a radio station, your life plays the channel you are tuned into. If you constantly speak of struggle, failure, and limitation, that's exactly what you will find. If your inner dialogue is one of certainty, success, and strength, your actions will reflect it. People believe life is random, that success is luck, that failure is fate. But the truth is, your world is simply a reflection of the conversations you entertain within. Your thoughts are architects. Every repeated phrase builds the foundation of your reality. And like any structure, what you build determines whether you stand firm or collapse under pressure. Imagine 2 people standing at the edge of the same challenge. One says, "I can't handle this. I always mess up." The other says, "I am prepared for this. I always find a way." The situation is identical. The resources, the skills, even the obstacles, they are the same. But the outcomes? Entirely different. Not because of the challenge itself, but because of the internal narrative that preceded it. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius understood that perception is everything. You don't see life as it is. You see it as you are. If your inner world is ruled by fear, you will find reasons to be afraid. If your mind is conditioned for growth, you will see opportunities everywhere. This is why most people remain stuck. They try to change their external circumstances without addressing the root cause, their internal dialogue. They want success, but speak to themselves as failures. They seek confidence, but reinforce doubt with every passing thought. You cannot plant weeds and expect a field of flowers. For 3 days, you will interrupt this pattern. Every negative thought, every excuse, every limiting belief must be caught and rewritten. You are not a passive observer of your mind. You are the director. If the script does not serve you, rewrite it. When challenges arise, and they will, your response will be dictated by your dominant inner state. If your mind is conditioned for resilience, setbacks will fuel you. If your inner world is filled with excuses, obstacles will justify inaction. You are always in conversation with yourself. The question is, are you reinforcing strength or weakness? Every time you hesitate, every time you doubt, every time you tell yourself you are not ready, you are solidifying a version of yourself that cannot win. The Stoics practiced preparation of the mind. They anticipated struggle. They expected adversity. But instead of fearing it, they trained themselves to remain unmoved. Because they knew the external world has no power over the man who has mastered his inner world. For 3 days, you will do the same. When stress arises, you will not say, "I can't handle this." You will say, "I am calm, I adapt, I overcome." When you feel overwhelmed, you will not say, "This is too much." You will say, "I move with clarity, I find solutions." You are no longer allowing your mind to work against you. You have trained it for years to doubt, to hesitate, to limit itself. Now you will train it to be unshakable. Every repetition strengthens the signal. Every time you choose strength over fear, you are rewiring your mind. And soon, this won't be something you have to force. It will be automatic. This is not about pretending. This is about alignment. If you want a strong mind, you must think, speak, and act as if it is already yours. If you want to be fearless, you must stop indulging in thoughts of hesitation. Your life will not change until your inner dialogue does. 3 days is enough to begin the shift. Not because the world bends instantly, but because you do. And when you do, reality has no choice but to follow. 6. Absolute conviction is required. Hesitation is the enemy of transformation. Doubt is the poison that kills potential before it even takes its first breath. Most people live in a cycle of uncertainty. They speak about what they want, but with hesitation. I hope one day I'll be successful. I wish I could be more confident. I want to change my life. The problem is not their desire, it's their lack of commitment. They leave room for failure in their own words. When you say, "I hope" or "I wish," you are telling your subconscious that it is not yet yours, that you are still waiting, that reality is uncertain, and the mind obeys that uncertainty. Instead of finding a way, it finds excuses. Instead of creating solutions, it waits for external validation. But those who truly change their lives do not leave space for failure. They decide. They say, "This is already mine, not someday, now." The Stoics understood this principle deeply. Epictetus reminded his students that circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. If you are not firm in your conviction, the world will break you. Challenges will shake you. The first obstacle will make you retreat. For the next 3 days, you must eliminate hesitation. Your inner conversation must be absolute. No more, "I'll try." No more, "Maybe it will happen." Every word must be a declaration. If you say, "I am disciplined," it is not an affirmation, it is a law. If you say, "I succeed in everything I do," it is not wishful thinking. It is reality being shaped in real time. Most people will never experience the full power of this because they waver. They start strong, then let doubt creep back in. They allow one bad moment, one external failure to dictate their belief. But here's the truth. Conviction is not about external proof. It is about internal certainty. Imagine two warriors stepping into battle. One stands tall, knowing he has already won in his mind. The other hesitates, waiting to see how the fight unfolds before deciding how confident to feel. Who do you think will dominate? It is never the one who waits. It is always the one who has already decided. There was a man named Thomas who learned this through experience. For years, he wanted to start his own business. He read every book, watched every success story, made endless plans. But he never acted. He was waiting for the right time, for some sign that he was ready. Every time he considered starting, doubt would whisper, "What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I lose everything?" One day, he met a mentor who told him something that changed his life. The only thing separating you from success is that you don't believe it's already yours. That day, Thomas made a decision. Not to try, not to hope, but to act as if success was already inevitable. He walked differently, he spoke differently. He structured his entire day around the assumption that he was already running a thriving business. And within months, reality started catching up to his certainty. Not because of luck, not because the world changed, but because he did. For 3 days, you must embody this level of conviction. Every thought, every action, every word must reflect the reality you are claiming. If doubt arises, you do not entertain it. If external circumstances challenge you, you do not flinch. This is not arrogance, this is discipline. The same discipline that allowed Marcus Aurelius to lead an empire without being broken by the chaos around him. The same discipline that allowed warriors, philosophers, and great leaders to stand firm while the rest of the world hesitated. Your mind will test you. It will try to convince you that certainty is unrealistic, that you need proof before you believe. But the truth is, certainty comes first. Proof comes after. You do not wait to feel strong before you act strong. You act strong, and then strength follows. For the next 3 days, you are no longer a person who wants or hopes. You are a person who has already decided. Watch how the world reacts when you eliminate hesitation from your mind. Watch how everything begins to shift. 7. The 72-hour transformation process. Change does not take years. It takes a decision. People waste decades waiting for the right time. They wait for motivation. They wait for external proof. They wait for circumstances to align perfectly. And because they wait, they never move. But here's the truth. Your mind can begin shifting in just 3 days. Not through magic, not through luck, but through deliberate mental conditioning. For 72 hours, your focus will be absolute. You will not negotiate with doubt. You will not waver in your conviction. You will commit fully to the reality you are creating, because when you do, something powerful happens. Your subconscious follows. At first, it will resist. Your old patterns will push back. You will feel the pull of hesitation, of excuses, of fear. But this discomfort is proof that change is happening. Your mind is recalibrating. The old identity is being challenged, and the new one is taking root. For the first 24 hours, you are planting the seed. Every thought you think is shaping this new foundation. Your words must be precise. Your feelings must align. This is where most people give up. They let old doubts creep in, thinking change isn't happening fast enough. But just like a seed doesn't sprout instantly, neither does a new identity. You must trust the process. By the second day, the resistance will intensify. Your mind will try to pull you back into familiar habits. You might hear whispers of, "This isn't working. Maybe I'm just fooling myself. What if nothing changes?" This is the moment that separates those who transform from those who stay the same. The Stoics believed in enduring discomfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote about how the mind is stronger than any temporary pain. This phase is your test. Will you fold under pressure? Or will you push through, knowing that the mind only resists what threatens its old identity? By the third day, something shifts. What once felt forced now feels natural. Your inner dialogue begins to follow a new rhythm. You are no longer saying words to convince yourself. You are speaking from a state of already being. This is the moment when your subconscious stops fighting and starts accepting. Most people never reach this point because they give up too soon. They expect results before the shift is complete. But the Stoic mindset teaches patience. The external world follows the internal shift, not the other way around. If you hold the course for 72 hours, you will see the first signs of transformation. This process is like forging steel. The heat, the pressure, the resistance, it all serves a purpose. Your old mindset is breaking apart so that something stronger can take its place. You are not just changing thoughts. You are rewiring the way your mind perceives reality. At the end of these 3 days, the world may look the same, but you will not be the same. You will speak differently, move differently. The hesitation will be gone, the doubt will have weakened. You will have proven to yourself that certainty is a choice, not a reaction. Now the question is, will you commit? Will you discipline your mind for 3 days and see what happens? Or will you remain trapped in the cycle of waiting, hoping, and doubting? The decision is yours, and the clock is already ticking. 8. Detachment and trust in the process. Most people sabotage their own success, not through failure, but through attachment. They want results so desperately that their obsession with the outcome becomes the very thing that blocks it. They affirm confidence, but then check for validation. They declare success, but constantly look for proof. They say they trust, but internally they doubt. And that doubt, that anxious grip, sends a clear message to the subconscious: I don't truly believe this is mine. Detachment is not indifference. It is power. It is the ability to commit fully without desperation. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every hour to see if it's growing. You water it, you trust the process, and you let nature do its work. The mind works the same way. If you obsess over whether your new beliefs are working, you are reinforcing the old identity. Because in that moment, you are operating from lack, not from certainty. You must train yourself to live as if what you desire is already unfolding, even before external proof appears. The Stoics mastered this. They understood that control is an illusion. You do not control how fast the tree grows. You do not control how the universe arranges circumstances in your favor. What you control is your state of mind, your actions, your ability to hold the course without needing constant reassurance. For 3 days, you will practice this. You will commit to your new inner conversation without needing to see results. You will act as if the shift has already happened, without looking for signs. And when doubt creeps in, you will not argue with it. You will dismiss it. You will move forward anyway. Many people think this means doing nothing. That detachment is passive. It is not. Detachment is the most powerful form of action. It is executing with complete focus, while trusting that the outcome is already secured. It is moving with certainty, without needing to force or chase. There is a reason the greatest performers, the most successful individuals, and the strongest minds operate from a state of calm. They do not panic, they do not scramble, they trust. Not because they are naive, but because they understand a simple truth. Neediness repels, while certainty attracts. If you want to master your mind, you must master detachment. You must move through the world with unshakable faith in the process, without needing immediate confirmation. This is the difference between those who struggle and those who rise. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop doubting, the moment you start acting as if it becomes real. Not in theory, not someday, but now. 9. Precision is the law. Your mind is not a chaotic battlefield. It is an instrument, and like any instrument, it must be tuned with absolute precision. Most people speak their desires vaguely. They say, I want success, I want happiness, I want a better life. But what does that actually mean? The mind does not respond to uncertainty. It responds to clarity. A sculptor does not randomly strike at marble and hope for a masterpiece. Every cut is intentional. Every movement serves a purpose. Your thoughts must be the same. Every word you speak to yourself must be deliberate, specific, and aligned with the reality you want to create. If you say, I want to be wealthy, that is not enough. Your subconscious does not understand vague ambition. It needs details. You must speak with the authority of someone who already has what they seek. You must declare, I am a disciplined strategic thinker who creates opportunities effortlessly. Money flows to me through the value I create. That is precise. That is actionable. That is something the mind can work with. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it. In the same way, if your life is not where you want it to be, the issue is not the world. The issue is how you speak to yourself about the world. For 3 days, every word you say to yourself must be measured. No more loose thinking. No more contradictions. You cannot affirm confidence while thinking thoughts of hesitation. You cannot claim success while entertaining failure. Every statement must align. This is where most people fail. They mix their old and new beliefs. They affirm power in the morning, but drown in doubt by the afternoon. That lack of precision kills progress. You cannot serve two masters. You must choose certainty or hesitation. And once you choose, you must maintain it. Precision is discipline. It means removing weak language. Stop saying, I hope. Stop saying, I will try. There is no room for negotiation. You either are or you are not. You either believe or you don't. The world bends to those who speak with unwavering clarity. If you tell yourself, I am calm, unshaken, and in control, your mind will follow. If you declare, I am a force of action, executing relentlessly on my goals, your body will move accordingly. But if you allow even a sliver of uncertainty, it will spread like a virus. If you say, I am disciplined, but some days are harder, you have already lost. If you say, I am successful, but I still doubt myself sometimes, your subconscious hears only the contradiction. The greatest minds in history, philosophers, warriors, leaders, all understood the power of precise thought. They spoke with certainty. They did not waver. They did not dilute their beliefs with hesitation. For 3 days, you will do the same. Every word you say to yourself must be intentional. Every phrase must be structured like an unbreakable law. And if doubt arises, you do not negotiate with it. You override it. This is not theory. This is execution. Your mind is the architect of your reality. And like any great structure, it is built with precision. For 3 days, you have a choice. You can speak to yourself the way you always have, filled with hesitation, doubt, and contradictions. Or you can take control. You can rewrite the script. Your inner conversation is not just talk. It is the foundation of everything you experience. It shapes your confidence, your discipline, your success. If your words are weak, your results will be weak. But if your words are precise, powerful, and unwavering, your reality will follow. For 72 hours, you will eliminate hesitation. You will speak only from certainty. No more I hope, no more maybe one day. Every thought will align with the future you are building. If doubts arise, you will dismiss them, not with fear, but with quiet, unshakable conviction. You have already learned the process. The inner word is the true creative force. Speak from the state of the wish fulfilled. Structure your inner conversation with discipline. Feel it deeply. Hold absolute conviction. Trust the process. And above all, be precise. The Stoics trained their minds for resilience. They did not wait for the world to change before they decided to be strong. They chose strength first, and then the world conformed. You will do the same. 3 days. That's all it takes to feel the shift. But if you continue beyond that, if you make this a way of life, everything changes. Now I ask you, what will you tell yourself starting today? What words will shape the next version of you? Share your story in the comments below. Let's build something powerful together.